Speaker, the Vice President, the House, the remark of the Senate President has gotten me relaxed and happy to be back in a club of great people, great minds, great thinkers, and the essence of our democracy. Members of the cabinet that are here, Your Excellencies, the governors, past and present, members of this honorable hallowed chamber. It's good to be back. To a well-familiar terrain. Ladies and gentlemen, and fellow Nigerians, I am here today to fulfill an essential constitutional obligation by presenting the 2026 appropriation bill to this esteemed joint session of the National Assembly for your consideration. Before I go any further, let me be upfront with you. This is a reset, a very hard one. Avoiding abandoned projects, unpaid contractual obligations, and running a multiple budget, both inherited and unfulfilled mandates. It's a problem staring the nation. So we are terminating the habit of running 3 budgets on one inflow. By March 31st, 2026, all capital liabilities from previous years will be fully funded and closed. From April, Nigeria operates on a single budget, backed by a single revenue cycle. No overlaps, no excuses, no rollovers culture. This budget presents a defining moment in our national journey of reform and transformation. Over the last 2.5 years, my government has methodically confronted long-standing structural weaknesses, stabilized our economy, rebuilt confidence, and lay a durable foundation for the construction of a more resilient, inclusive, and dynamic Nigeria. Though necessary, the reforms have not been painless. Families and businesses have faced pressure. Established systems have been disrupted and tested. The budget execution has been tested as well. I acknowledge these difficulties plainly. Yet I'm here today to assure Nigerians that their sacrifices are not in vain. We are already out of that dark tunnel of uncertainty, economic volatility, and lack of inclusiveness. Economy and proud has turned the corner. Though the path of reform is seldom smooth, but it is the surest route to lasting stability and shared prosperity. Today, I present a budget that consolidates our gains, strengthens our resilience, and takes this country from out of the dark tunnel of hopelessness, from the survivor to growth. The 2026 budget is themed budget of consolidation, renewed resilience, and shared prosperity. It reflects our determination to lock in macroeconomic stability, deepen competitiveness, and ensure that growth translates into decent jobs, rising incomes, and a better quality of life across every corner of Nigeria and for every Nigerian. Mr. Chairman, the leadership of the National Assembly, while the global outlook continues to improve, this budget aims to further strengthen our Nigerian economy to benefit all our citizens. I am encouraged that our reform efforts are already yielding measurable results. One, our economy grew by 3.98% in the third quarter of year 2025, up from 3.86% in the third quarter of year 2024, year in, year out. Inflation has moderated for 8 consecutive months, with headline inflation declining to 14.45% in March 2025, with stabilizing food and energy prices, tighter monetary conditions, improving supply responses. We expect the deflationary trend to persist over the year 2026 horizon, barring major supply shocks. Item 3. Oil production has improved, supported by enhanced security, technology development, and sector reforms. 4. Non-oil revenues have expanded significantly through better tax administration. Thank you for passing the tax bill. Investor confidence is returning, reflected in capital inflow. Renewed project financing and strong private sector participation. Our external reserve rose to a 7-year high of about $47 billion as of last month. That provides over 10 months of import cover and a more substantial buffer against shocks. These outcomes are not accidental or luck. They are the consequence of our difficult policy choices. Our next objective is to deepen our gains in the pursuit of enduring and inclusive prosperity. Mr. Chairman, distinguished members, our 2025 budget implementation faced the reality of transition and competing execution demands. As of the third quarter, 18.6 trillion naira in revenue, representing 61% of our target. That's poor. And 24.66 trillion naira in expenditure, representing 60% of our target. Following the extension of the 2024 capital budget execution, the December 2025, a total of 2.23 trillion naira was released for implementation of the 2024 project as of June 2025. While physical challenges persisted, the government met its key obligations. All key obligations are met. However, only 3.10 trillion naira, about 17% of 2025 capital budget, was released as of the third quarter, reflecting the emphasis on completing priority projects. All the 2024 capital projects during the transition period. Let me be clear, 2026 will be a year of stronger discipline in budget execution. I have issued directives to the Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, the Honorable Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, the Accountant General of the Federation, and the Director General of the Budget Office of the Federation to ensure that the 2026 budget is implemented strictly in line with appropriated details and timelines. We expect improved revenue performance through the new year. The new National Tax Act and the ongoing reform in the oil and gas sector. Reform designed not merely to raise revenue, but to drive transparency, efficiency, fairness, and long-term value in our physical architecture. I have also provided clear and direct guidance regarding government-owned enterprises. Head of all agencies have been directed to meet their assigned revenue target. To support this, we will deploy end-to-end digitization of revenue mobilization. Standardized e-collection, interoperable payment rails, automated reconciliation, data-driven risk profiling, and real-time performance dashboard. So leakages are sealed, compliance is verifiable, and remittances are prompt. This target will form core components of performance, evaluation, and institutional scorecard. Nigeria can no longer afford leakages, inefficiencies, or underperformance in strategic agencies. Every institution must play its part and play it effectively. Mr. Chairman and fellow Nigerians, the and business environment, investment environment, and all of that together promote job-rich growth and reduce poverty and strengthen human capital development while protecting the vulnerable. In short, we will spend with purpose, manage debt with discipline, and pursue broad-based sustainable growth. Distinguished leaders or members, the 2026 federal budget is anchored on realism, prudence, and growth. The key aggregates are as follows. Expected total revenue is 34.33 trillion naira. Projected total expenditure is 58.18 trillion naira, including 15.52 trillion naira for debt servicing. Recurrent non-debt expenditure is 15.2 trillion naira. Capital expenditure will be 26.08 trillion. The budget deficit is expected to be 23.85 trillion naira, representing just 4.28% of our GDP. These numbers are not mere accounting lines. They are a statement of national priorities. We will remain firmly committed to fiscal sustainability, debt transparency, and value for money spending. The year 2026 to 2088 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper set the parameters for this budget. Our projections are based on 1. A conservative crude oil benchmark of US $64.85 per barrel. 2. Crude oil production of 1.8 million barrels per day. And 3. An average exchange rate of 1.4 naira to the US dollar for the 2026 fiscal year. We will continue to reduce waste, strengthen controls, and ensure that every Nigerian borrows or spends delivers measurable public value. Our allocation reflects the renewed hope agenda and the practical needs of Nigerians. Key sectorial provisions. Key sectorial provisions include defense, security. Defense and security will take 5.41 trillion naira. Infrastructure will follow with 3.56 trillion naira. Education will follow with 3.52 trillion naira. Health and social services will be 2.48 trillion naira. These priorities are interlinked. Without security, investment will not thrive. Without education and healthy citizens, product remains the foundation of development. The 2026 budget strengthens support for modernization of armed forces, intelligence-driven pricing and joint operations, border security, and technology-enabled surveillance and community-based peace building and conflict prevention. We will invest in security with clear accountability for outcomes, because security spending must deliver results to secure our country. Our priority will remain on increasing the fighting capability of our armed forces and other security agents, boosting the effectiveness of our fighting forces with cutting-edge equipment and other hardware. We will show no mercy. We will usher in a new era of criminal justice. We will show no mercy, I repeat, to those who commit or support acts of terrorism, banditry, kidnapping for ransom, and other violent crimes. Our administration is resetting the national security architecture and establishing a new national counterterrorism doctrine, a holistic redesign anchored on unified command, intelligence gathering, community stability, and counterinsurgency. This doctrine will fundamentally change how we confront terrorism and other violent crimes. Under this new architecture, any armed group or gun-wielding non-state actors operating outside the state authority will be regarded as terrorists. Bandits, militia, armed gangs, armed robbers, violent cults, forest-based armed groups, and foreign-linked mercenaries will all be targeted. We will go after all those who perpetrated violence for political or sectarian ends, along with those who finance and facilitate their evil schemes. On our human capital development, education and health, no nation can grow beyond the quality of its people. The 2026 budget strengthens investment in education, skills, healthcare, and social protection. In education, we are expanding access to higher education through the Nigerian Education Loan Fund. Over 780,000 students have been supported in partnership with 229 tertiary institutions nationwide. In healthcare, I'm pleased to highlight the investment in 6% of the total budget size, net of liability. I repeat, 6% of the total budget size, net of liability, in healthcare. We also appreciate the support of international partners, recent high-level engagement with the government of the United States. It has opened the door to a 500 million US dollars for health intervention across Nigeria. We welcome this partnership and assure Nigerians that these resources will be deployed transparently and effectively. The economy and productivity across the nation, projects of all shapes and sizes are moving from vision to reality. Go around, you will see it yourself. This includes transport and energy infrastructure, port modernization, agricultural reform, and strategic investment to unlock private capital. We will take decisive steps to strengthen agricultural markets. Food security shall remain a national priority. The 2026 budget focuses on input financing and mechanization, irrigation and climate resilient agriculture, storage and processing, and agro-value chain. This measure will reduce post-harvest losses, improve incomes for small-scale holders, deepen our skills, deepen agro-industrialization, and build a more resilient, diversified economy. In year 2026, the Bank of Agriculture plans to plant confidence back into our soil. Mechanizing through 7 regional hubs, protecting harvest with fair prices and substantial reserves, providing affordable finance to millions of small holders and growing export value. Under the plan, Nigerian farmers will cultivate 1 million hectares, create hundreds of thousands of jobs, and prove that prosperity can rise through better use of our God-given land. On procurement, starting in November last year, the government has embarked upon a comprehensive framework of procurement reforms. These reforms have enhanced efficiency and generated significant cost savings for the government, resulting in reduced processing times for government contracts and better enforcement procedures directed against hiring contractors and government officials. Our Nigerian First policy has been established to encourage self-sufficiency and sustainable growth within Nigeria by promoting domestic products and businesses, by mandating that all ministries, departments, and agencies of government, the MDAs, consider Nigeria-made goods and local companies as their primary option. The policy aims to support local industries, create job opportunities, and reduce dependency on imported items. This bold new approach is expected to enhance the competitiveness of Nigerian enterprises, foster innovation and ultimately contribute to the country's overall economic development. Distinguished members and fellow Nigerians, the most significant budget is not the one we announce, it is the one we deliver. Therefore, 2026 will be guided by three practical commitments: better revenue mobilization through efficiency, transparency, and compliance; better spending by prioritizing projects that can be completed, measured, and felt by the citizens; better accountability through strengthening of procurement discipline, monitoring, and reporting. We will build trust by matching our words with results and our allocations with outcomes. Dear honorable members, distinguished senators, members of the National Assembly, and fellow Nigerians, the 2026 budget is not a budget of promises. It is a budget of consolidation, renewed resilience, shared prosperity, and it is built on reform of the past 2.5 years. It addresses the emerging challenges and sets a clear path towards a more secure, more competitive, more equitable, and more hopeful Nigeria. I commend the people of this country for their understanding, resilience, and my administration remains committed to easing the burdens of the transition to a more stable, prosperous nation. We promise to make sure that the benefits of the reform reach households and communities across the Federation. In united purpose between the executive and the legislature, and with the resilience of Nigerian people, we will deliver the full promise of renewed hope agenda. It is therefore my great pleasure that I lay before this distinguished joint session of the National Assembly the 2026 appropriation bill of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, titled Budget of Consolidation, Renewed Resilience, and Shared Prosperity. I seek your partnership in charting the nation's fiscal code for the coming year. May God bless you all. Bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Keep our armed forces safe. And thank you very much.